What's happening, folks? Like to welcome y'all to another episode, COVID-19 version of the BYLU Campaign podcast. So we've been inactive for like how long now? 2 months.
Yep.
About like 2 months. We took a little hiatus. Um, I honestly don't know why, but it's no
Partially
excuse
due to
for
my
that.
fault, but go ahead.
It ain't your fault. It's my fault too. I could have picked up the mic and put some out.
For sure.
But yeah, we back now. We're gonna try to get back on schedule. But thank y'all for tuning in to this COVID-19 version. We know everybody is quarantining, stuck at home, working from home. Life is very different since the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, we thought it was time to bring a new one out and get back on schedule because we can't let COVID stop the flow. You hear me? You ain't
For
going
sure.
for that. But yeah, I'm here with your hosts, Dan and Nate. What's happening? How are you?
Hey, man, I'm feeling blessed, bro.
Oh, yeah?
In the midst of all this, still feeling blessed. How about yourself?
I'm a little stressed right now, but I'm feeling good at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. I was about to say I feel good, but just putting that out there would have been a lie. I ain't really trying to lie. I don't owe nobody nothing. But yeah, man. These are very interesting times we living through. Like
Yes, they are.
like the email, it's crazy, right? Because like the week before all this hit and things started shutting down, it was like a little event at the museum I was trying to go to. I got like my little membership.
Mm-hmm.
So I had RSVP for the joint. I'm like, ooh, it's like a little fancy opening night event. I'm like, man, I'm gonna look sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna be flexing. Yeah, man. And they sent me the email like, yeah, due to COVID, all large social gatherings are canceled. These are very interesting times we're living in. So I've been saying that ever since because I was like, man, that was like summed it up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, we got this new blog post that you recently dropped
Yes.
titled,
Talented and gifted.
yeah. And which one are you?
I'm both.
Get out of here.
I am.
How you know?
I know I am.
How do you know?
Read the blog, you'll know.
You're an idiot. But that's what's up, though. That's what's up. So we're going to dive into this new blog post, and we're going to keep this kind of general also since we haven't been here so long.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to fully restrict ourselves to just the guideline of the post. So
For
maybe
sure.
like other side things that we speak on too, all that there. So, buckle up, get in a comfortable chair or whatever you're doing and enjoy. Let's get into it. Let's start off top with this post, man. What was the inspiration behind that? Why, during COVID-19, do you want to talk about talented and gifted when people are trying to survive?
Yeah, bro, it's crazy because honestly, like throughout the break of me not writing, because I didn't write pretty much 2 months.
Okay.
I didn't write.
Okay.
That's the first time since we probably started for the longest break I've taken. And I pretty much been trying to write this article for those 2 months. I just didn't know where to take it, or like I had just this idea in my head, like, because the last article I wrote was, going back to corporate.
Yeah.
And then by the time that article came out, maybe like a couple weeks later, it was looking like, man, actually, I may not be going to corporate. I actually may be doing my own thing, right?
Okay.
I may actually be going on a different path.
For sure.
And I was like, man, what if the next article I write is actually I'm not? So originally that was an idea in my head.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not going back. And, this is potentially why. You know what I'm saying? It was somewhat of this idea of, okay, I'm not going back because I'm gifted in this or whatever. But
Yeah.
I still hasn't really, it just took me a long time to kind of figure out what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I tried. I was like, and I just kind of went with it. I was like, I'm not gonna rush the process. Just kind of let it rock. So, my apologies to people who've been waiting. Like, some people hit me up like, "Yo, when's the next article coming out?"
Boy.
Nah, for real. I know people feel like, you know what I'm saying, especially since we launched another platform recently. that I abandoned, but we still 10 tones down with
We
this
still
BYLU
active.
campaign.
We still active.
Yes, sir. So inspiration, man. It was really it really started, like I said, from the last post I wrote, which was going back to corporate. Kind of started. It was birthed out of that. But with all that was going on with COVID-19 and kind of where the platform that we originally launched, Built in Africa, had led
Yeah.
me, like just mentally, I was in a place where I kind of realized where I could finally like figure out what I wanted to say and what I wanted to share with the people.
So you needed that time for your thoughts to mature.
Yeah, for sure.
They were in like super adolescent mode and they had to
Hmm.
get, become adults.
For sure.
Adults with a path though, not just like
Hmm.
adults just laying around.
Yeah, and it's like it was kind of annoying because usually, for the most part, for the monthly articles, it's like a maturity process that happens over a month.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So for this, because it didn't happen over that time period, it was like, man, like now I'm not gonna be able to put something out.
Yeah.
And I really didn't force it too much to like figure out if there was anything else I could write. I just kind of went with
Okay.
the flow.
So in said article,
Mm-hmm.
you opened up talking about the popular advice that's going around right now, which is if you're not coming out of the COVID, quote unquote, with a new skill, a business, a LLC,
Mm-hmm.
what else is some other things that people are getting shamed for not doing? Those are only three I could think of, bro.
All types of stuff.
You're not
bro.
coming out with a Bowflex body.
Right.
You're not coming out knowing how to build a house,
Yeah.
build a car. You know what I'm saying?
With a million cash,
Right.
liquid.
The next big app, code, anything, then it's not time that you like. You just a lazy bum.
Yeah.
And, I disagree with that. I sent you that screenshot a couple times and sent you just like, man, this is whack as hell. This whole notion that because you have this time period or the world is at a standstill, you have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's realistic for some people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you have, because in order to be able to worry about learning and elevating and all that, you can't be in survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
And even though folks is on IG making it look lit, a lot of people are in survival mode because I don't care what people say. I remember the first day this happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was about to use the N-word.
Yeah.
But people started doing the little shot challenge.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, these people are depressed.
Mm-hmm.
You sad. Ain't no way you in the crib, cuz. Just out of nowhere, just like, I mean, some people drink like that, but the number of people that's like, bruh, like, there's no way people at home for no reason is taking shots. If I'm in the crib taking shots or something, I just got fired and I'm hurt or something. Sure. You feel me? Like, there's casual drinkers, but it was little things folks was doing. I'm just like, man, what's being shown is not reality. Like, you feel me? Like, cause I went on Facebook, bruh. Unfortunately, I've been on Facebook a lot because I've been like flipping on Facebook. And bro, on Facebook supposed to be putting their business out there. Jesus, it's like no middle ground because like IG is like super curated, curated. Excuse me.
It's a facade.
Facebook is like super reality to the point where you feel like you in like the Twilight Zone sometimes. You're like, these people are tripping. And Twitter is like, it's kind of a mix of both.
Yeah.
And it's like people getting they shit off.
Yeah. Twitter's a little shameful at times.
Yeah, sometimes Twitter will bash you too.
Yeah.
But it's like you could find a lot on Twitter. It's like more of a mix.
For sure.
Yeah, right? And I don't be on Twitter like that. So I'm either on Facebook or the Gram. And the Gram is lit and Facebook people are dying because like people ready to sell their kids and everything on Facebook. And I'm just like, man, you feel me? Like, what's really going on? Like,
yeah,
because this thing is affecting a lot of people. It's affecting our peers, our neighbors, all that. But no one is really speaking on it,
Yeah.
But yeah, like that whole notion that you got to learn something. I think everyone has free will and you have free choice and the world is neutral. So if you want to learn something and start your business and you have the means, and sometimes you can have the means and you don't even have the mind. Like your mind
sure.
isn't in that space to kick that off,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be doing yourself more harm than good by trying to, you know what I'm saying, jump in the waters. You won't be able to swim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think if you have like those necessities in place and handled, for sure, go ahead and learn that new skill. Take that course. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
start that business. Like take that risk. But if you in survival mode, bruh, don't pay attention to people shaming you because you don't know what they going. They probably good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They're still at home getting paid. There's people right now who don't have to do no work and getting the same checks.
Yeah.
And there's people who are waiting for that first unemployment check to hit and they've ran through all the money they have at their expense, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everyone is experiencing life differently right now and one mold can't fit everybody. So don't let that shame and stuff get to you, man. People just be saying that shit because they think it look cool.
For sure.
I mean, there's some people who genuinely believe it. That's cool too. And they're like actively doing that. So that's why they're pushing that agenda. Because I know some people like that. Like they be working on new skills and stuff. So they'll be like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. You should do it too. You feel me? But there's some niggas who, excuse me, are not doing nothing at all, who are making you feel bad and don't fall for it, bruh.
Nah, for real, because I mean, this is my whole thing, right?
What's up?
I think whenever you come into a new environment,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about first getting your base. You know what I'm saying?
You have
Getting
to
like
establish your
situated.
foundation.
Yeah, establish your foundation, getting situated first, right?
Yeah.
Like when I was in school, in college still, and like young kids, whether high school kids, middle school kids, occasionally they would come to GW
For sure.
and they'll, it was like a bunch of black kids talking to black, you know what I'm saying, young kids, and they'll ask for advice. And I would always tell them, I was like, yo, if you grew up in a black environment, when you get to school, find your black community first and then branch out, right? Because I remember I came to school, I was like, man, I'm about to try to meet everybody. And that kind of messed me up, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have any foundation. Like, I didn't.
You don't have a home.
Yeah, I didn't have a home. You know what I'm saying? I didn't establish myself with a set or a group of people.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing with times of uncertainty, like the
Yeah.
situation we are in right now.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta, before you even think about trying to get a new skill or run up a check, like you gotta make sure your foundation is good first. You
That's
gotta make
true.
sure you're good first.
That's true.
Like, all right, I'm cool, and then you can start moving. Like once I had my friends at GW, or like I had like my core set of people,
Yeah.
like it was cool hanging out with anybody. Like I hang out with people of different races, different nationalities, people from way different upbringings, and it was cool.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I could still go home and I still had a foundation to go to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in these type of situations, I think first getting your foundation, getting your base, getting situated, like with this uncertainty that we're dealing with, doing that first is more important than trying to run around and do what's hot or what's cool or what's tweetable or what's Instagrammable and all that.
Oh, jeez. And yeah, that's something I was thinking about too, right? Because I had a conversation recently. Like one of my homies, he did like he took like this course. You know what I'm saying? He stayed down, he studied, did all the groundwork he had to do, passed the course. And like he multiplied his salary by 2.5x, right? So I'm like, damn, I was in conversation with someone. I told him, I was like, yeah, like my boy, he did this, da-da-da, he studied, he got this cert, da-da-da-da. And this is exactly like the benefits he got from it. And they're like, dang, for real, why don't you do that? And I'm like, that's not my path. Like, I'm okay. I said, like, I know I could hit the same numbers and I'm doing it my way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it worked for him. And that means it works. Like, it's proven to work.
Yeah.
But one thing I realized through all this is it's emphasizing the fact that just because you go and copy and paste somebody's blueprint, their path, their footsteps, whatever, you're not guaranteed the same results. Because there's just other things that, you know what I'm saying, factors that play in that people don't think about, you know?
And I'll add a point to that. Even if you can copy and paste and get the same results, that doesn't mean that's what you're supposed to be doing.
For surely. I swear it's not.
Right? Like,
It might be good for the moment though, but I always ask myself, is this sustainable? That's my thing. Like when people ask me, like my only argument to the person I had a conversation with is like, that path is not sustainable for me because I know me. You feel me? And that's what it comes down to sometimes. It's like, can I sustain this? Because you might be able to copy it once, but can you replicate it? Can you keep doing it? You know, like maybe you don't have the same love that they have for it. That's what's feeling them to keep winning. You might have that love to get that first victory.
that first cert.
You feel me? But then to get the next one and the next one, you might be like, man, this ain't what I thought it was. You know? Right.
Sure.
So it's just like, is this sustainable? But let's hop into this article, man. We pretty all over right now because of COVID. But yeah, man. So you speak on your I don't want to say advice, but your approach during these times is to do the internal work, and you see that as what's gonna have more of the bigger payout, right? Opposed to just like trying to do the things that are, like you said, Instagrammable, tweetable, Facebookable, you know, things that look lit, like you on one when you probably all messed up inside still. So you speak on discovering your gift, and I'm gonna give you the stage. Let's let you speak on that some more.
Yeah. In terms of like, where you want me to go with this?
Just speak on it from your personal standpoint.
Like why I think that's important. What we should be doing.
Not what we should be doing.
Or why
I don't even
why
think
I decided.
Yeah, because I don't think this. Honestly, I don't really think this is a time to give advice because the playing field is so unleveled for everyone. But just like your perspective, it's just a good time to share your perspective, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If somebody gets inspired by that and they're like, oh, he did this, it worked for him, I want to try that. All right, cool. But yeah, discovering your gifts. What did that look like for you? And also don't forget the pain points that came with it too. I'm interested in that.
Yeah. That's a good question. So, I think COVID, my transition into real estate or to entrepreneurship, prepared me for COVID.
Okay.
A lot. Like, so for me, getting from the transition into COVID really didn't, like, mentally, I never really had any like mental like situations where I'm like, man, like it's real, it's tough out here. Like, I mean, even though like things are not the same, you know, some opportunities that I was supposed to capitalize on, hey, they didn't, you know what I'm saying, materialize as of yet. So things have switched up, but it hasn't really set me off like sit me down in a way, you know? So in that, I was kind of looking at my situation from transition to entrepreneurship. Like, where did I get to a place where I was like stable? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I talked about that foundation, right?
Yeah.
When did I get to that space? And I never got to that space till I felt like I was in my gift, right? I was very unstable when I felt like I was in my talent, you know? So so that's one. But even before I get into that, I think for me, why it's important to go internal during this time is just because, like, we'll never get this amount of time to be with ourselves.
For sure.
Ever. Probably ever again in our lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Like, this amount of, whether it's isolated time or individual time where you can really sit with yourself and like look in the mirror and say, okay, who am I? What's going on with me?
Yeah.
You know, and I had the one time I had something like that was when I was working and I was on the bench for like 3 months and I was just home. I wasn't going into the office, right? And that time away of just being able to think and process my thoughts and figure out who I am and what I wanted, you know, did numbers for me. So I just think, even we can, at any time of the year, whether we're busy, whether it's like in a regular situation, like pre-COVID,
Yeah,
you could set up an LLC.
that's true.
Like you could start a side gig. You could do that. But like the time that we're allotted to really do the work on ourselves that we're getting during this period, like we don't get that often.
That's true.
So I mean, for me, it's like I take advantage of this unique opportunity. Yeah, it's tragic, but take advantage of this unique opportunity to, whether it's learn about yourself, do the work on yourself, or discover your gift.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between talents and gifts? Because you said when you were in your talent,
Mm-hmm.
you weren't able to build your base, but once you stepped into your gift, that's when you were in a good space to just,
Yeah.
I guess, thrive. That's when you made that switch where it's like I could thrive now because I've arrived where I could thrive.
Yeah. Nah.
So how did you discover the difference between both of those? And what about those things that blur the line between talents and gifts, where it's very hard to decide like which one is it? Because there are some things that you could automatically put in one box or the other, but there's others where you're always lost. Like, is this a natural ability or is this something that like God gifted me with? You know what I'm saying? Like it came from a higher space than me.
Yeah. So like kind of how you mentioned, talent is something I see as inherited from our parents or whatever, our ancestors, if you will. Then our gifts are something that God has gifted us, right? And to me, the first sign is like, what motivates you to perfect that thing? Is it self motivated or like a motivation to serve others, right? Because like for me, finance for my whole life has been motivated for me. Like, even though I had like this idea I talked about in the article, yeah, I want to help out my folks and all that, but it was still very selfish because I wanted the lifestyle. Like, I want a lifestyle that I had never experienced, right? Like I still remember by the time I got to my senior year of college, I was just like, bro, why did I even do finance, bro? I
That's
kid
most
you,
people though, bro.
I kid you not. And it was just like, why did I even do this? Like, and I realized I was kind of checking myself. I was like, man, I came here as a finance major because I thought that was going to teach me how to make money. And they didn't. I didn't love finance. Like, I don't love like Excel, like analyzing company balance sheets and all that.
Crunching
I
them
don't
numbers,
love
you ain't
that.
like it?
Huh?
You didn't like all those numbers?
Nah, I can do it.
But you ain't like it.
Like, sometimes I like the problem solving aspect of it.
Yeah.
But like all that Excel, all that, projecting,
Yeah.
cash flows, all that, bruh, I couldn't stand all that. I could care. I'm not saying I couldn't stand it, but I could care less about it.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't a person who was always reading the Wall Street Journal,
Okay.
reading Bloomberg, watching all that stuff.
Wow. You was a rebel.
Yeah, bro. Like, I never, but like, I know how to do it
For
because
sure.
like how my mind works is something I can do.
Yeah.
And like, I know how to process numbers. I'm very like logical and can know how to maneuver, right? And that's something I got from my pops.
Yeah.
My pops,
He's good with numerology.
yeah, he's good with all
Numbers are
that,
his
right?
thing.
So, that's like the talent, right? And my transition from right undergrad to working full time, it was like, okay, yeah, I ain't learn about making money in undergrad. Maybe I'll learn it in corporate. Corporate didn't teach me. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try this entrepreneurship tip, real estate. That's gonna, teach me about money and help me make money. And then, I tried to use makeup in my head, like, yeah, I'm doing this for my family. Yeah, I'm doing it for, the people, the culture, or whatever. But it was, like I said, if I really sat down and pulled back the curtains, it was motivated by me, wanting to serve myself, right? But like when I transitioned into writing, it was like the first thing I ever did that wasn't for me. Like the first thing I did that it wasn't like, man, what can I gain from this? It was like, man, who can I help or serve with this? You know what I'm saying? Like the whole situation of how the blog came about, I was like, man, I'm learning a bunch of stuff. Let me share. And it's even evolved from that point since to now. You know what I'm saying? Like I mentioned in the article, it's like one guy I was talking to like 2 weeks ago. He's a writer as well, black dude. He was like, people talk about people like writers love to write. He was like, nah, we're compelled to write. Like we have something that's in us that we want to get out. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel with a lot of the situations of which I'm writing. Right? It's something I have in my spirit that I'm like, man, I got to give this out to the world. So that's in a nutshell my difference. What I see as a difference between, you know, our gifts and our talents. You know, I can go more into that, but yeah.
So if there's gifts and talents, those two exist. We also have to acknowledge like skills. Where does that sit along the spectrum? Because you could be skillful at something where you woke up, you're like, I want to learn how to paint, right? I don't have a gift for it. I'm not talented off top to be a painter, but I put in the time and work hard and become a painter. And I'm like, all right, I'm a great painter. I'm gonna pursue a career as an artist, right? Where would that fall along the spectrum of those two?
Yeah, and that's a good point, and I wanted to speak on that too, because like I think the assumption is that if you're gifted with something that you're automatically nice at it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for me, like I wasn't a good writer. Like your gifts, as long as your talents, they both have to be developed by gaining the right skills to build them up.
Okay.
So skills can, in my opinion, they can exist under both, right? Like when I think what makes me a good writer isn't my writing skill. Like at the heart of my writing isn't my writing skill. It's my thought process. Like people have always told me, like, yeah, Nathan, you're very thoughtful. Like it's the way my mind works, which has, with me developing my writing skill, has allowed me to transfer the thoughts in my head to paper, right? So your gifts have to be developed. You know what I mean? And you have to attach the necessary skills to, you know, take it to where it's supposed to be. That's how kind of I see it. I think that's the same thing with talents. Like me being talented in finance, right? I had to, you know, develop my math skills, my number skills. I had to put in work to get the degree. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm talented because my dad was talented in finance. Like it automatically,
like, I give it to him. Give him that bachelor's. You want a bachelor's? I got
yeah. Like they just
sign right here.
Like it was free. Nah, like I still had to work and acquire skills. But yeah, that's kind of how I look at it.
One thing that I found pretty interesting is when you said that it's like checking your motivation and how you could be motivated by, you know what I'm saying, the money and the act of acquiring. And also you could be motivated by the act of being of service. So it's kind of crazy. I was listening to a podcast yesterday night and this morning. I ran it back 2 times. And a comment that dude made, he said that so there was an example where the interviewer was like, yeah, you know, I want to be like of service. I want to save the world. And dude was like, so when you say you want to save the world, that could mean a lot of things. Do you want to like stop global warming? Do you want to get rid of poverty? What does saving the world look like to you?
For sure.
Because, for example, if your thing is to save the trees and to plant more trees, you may not necessarily have to go into the business of planting trees, but you might have a few talents and gifts that you could maximize on, earn a lot of capital, and put that money towards like a foundation that goes and plants as much trees as it can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or just like if your thing is to stop poverty in Baltimore, right? Maybe you going out there is only going to affect so much, but you're great in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
You go wholesale, go build your
Yeah.
portfolio, get a big check, and then come back and you could
Mm-hmm.
do way more.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's not
my
always
whole
a direct
yeah, because
line.
my whole
Yeah.
thing is just like I don't want the motivation of money to sound like it's demonized because I don't think that's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because money will solve all your money problems. You still gonna have life problems,
For sure.
but it'll solve your money problems. All money problems are solved by having
Mm-hmm.
money. Not there's. I'm sorry. You could pray all you want,
Mm-hmm.
and that might help in terms of like God and the universe leading you in a direction to be able to be in position to earn what you need. To make life easier for you.
Yeah.
But money problems are solved by money, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it should be demonized.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say I'm I wouldn't want to even paint that picture demonizing because, like, how I mentioned in the end of the article, I still plan to use my talent of real estate and finance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
not like
I don't even think you have a choice, honestly.
yeah, for
I
sure.
don't think you have a choice.
It's part of my it's definitely gonna be part of my like story, just like
Yeah,
like
for
my
sure.
my life story.
Yeah.
It's like because in my head, I want to help people financially, but
Hmm.
I thought I had to go through the route of finance to get there.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes it's not like the path that you see. Sometimes it's not like that linear.
It's
You know what
really
I'm saying?
not, cuz
It's not that always that
that
linear,
thing looked like a what's that little game? It looked like a Pac-Man map, cuz it just
right?
got all these ins and outs and ups and downs, and you can run into roadblocks and back up and go around it. Like,
Yeah, it's like the gift that is gonna be could be used to get you to where you thought like something else.
yeah.
And it seems like yeah, obviously like I'm good at finance.
Yeah.
Why can't I just go the finance route, get the bread, and do things to help people with the bread?
Yeah.
It's like nah, like I'm gonna take you this other way. Like this is the
Facts.
way I want you to go. And the only thing with me is like I think our careers should be focused around our gifts and not our talents, right?
Mm.
I think our talents should be used to, like you mentioned, like whether it's secure, uh, become more financially stable, right?
Mm.
Like I can use my talent of real estate and once, you know what I'm saying, and when I'm in a solid position to acquire real estate. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say someone, if you got a certain talent, to just throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think all that we're given we should use,
For
whether it's a
sure.
gift or a talent. But I think our focus should be our gift because that's gonna guide how we use our talents, or like it's gonna going down that path naturally. Like we're gonna see how we're gonna be able to use our talents in some in whatever capacity.
Yeah, I agree with that. Cause just paying attention over this 2-year time period,
Mm-hmm.
there's we speak on this a lot off air. Like it's so many things that we done did over like our lifetime
Yeah,
that come back in little moments where it'll be
for
like
sure.
it might be something I did like 8 years ago
Mm-hmm.
that I might need 15 minutes tomorrow in a
Mm-hmm.
situation that could save me in a situation because I had that knowledge or that skill
Mm-hmm.
or that talent, like you would say,
Yeah.
And it's always crazy to look back on. Like even recently, I had I was in a negotiation, a couple of negotiations for some things or whatever, and I had Nate as my lead negotiator. So I'm like, man, there was times where I almost folded, but I was like, you know what? What would Nate do? I shoot Nate a text. Hey, this how the negotiation is. What should I say? He's like, yeah, hit him back like 20% less. I'm like, all right, you sure? You sure? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, 20% less. Then I'm like, all right, bruh. They said they could do 15%. He's like, nah. Tell him 19% and add extra. I'm like, God, this guy is aggressive. You feel me? And
For
I'm
sure.
like, man, where did he learn that? I was like, that's that real estate negotiation. Because that's
Mm-hmm.
not like our regular way that we used to
Mm-hmm.
negotiate when we were kids,
For sure.
You feel me? So it's like all the things that we learn that we might
Mm-hmm.
be like, damn, I spent all this time. all these nights, blood, sweat, and tears learning this, and I'm just gonna throw it away. It's like, nah, you're not throwing it away
Yeah.
because subconsciously it becomes a part of you.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be moments where it will show. You might not recognize it,
Mm-hmm.
but there's gonna be moments where those skills are gonna pop out and save you. So, like, things you learn don't go to waste as long as you don't let them go to waste.
Yeah, that's real. Hey, you know that's crazy, bro. Because I'm glad we're having this conversation because this is something I've been like battling with
What up?
recently. Because I'm like, man, even I've been thinking about should I get the cert, the next cert,
For sure.
and I've been like, man, is it worth putting in the time? Like, how if I don't even do like cloud and all that?
Yeah.
But this kind of got me thinking. It's like, bro, no. Nothing that you learn or that you can learn is it goes wasted.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
because
saying?
I mean, I'm gonna clean. Even if you don't use it, you probably use it for like some website builds that I might need. So
Mm-hmm.
I could get you on a cloud consultant for
Yeah,
free,
yeah,
for the
like
free ski.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. You never know. So I mean, I'm gonna stop fighting it
Resistance is your enemy.
for sure. And the crazy thing is, bro, that's most of the times like Danny. I remember Danny told me he was like, "Yo, Nate, you out of all of us, most of the times you know what you're supposed to be doing. Why don't you always do it?"
Hey, it's facts though, man. It's facts. Like, it's facts. All y'all, I put all y'all into archetypes, and I have profiles on like all my friends. I could tell my friends they profiles. I might have to pay though. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hit y'all with like an ancestry fee, but yeah. So there's some people who genuinely don't know what to do and need guidance.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people who know what to do and are literally the only thing in their way just from having like a mass amount of resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some people who know what to do and are doing it
Mm-hmm.
and they're at peace because,
For
you know what
sure.
I'm saying, your soul is not fighting nothing. You're not at war with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other people who don't know what's going on.
You just lost.
And you know what I'm saying? And I love
For
those
sure.
people too. And, you know what I'm saying, hopefully they'll get it together eventually. But at some conscious and subconscious level, we usually know what we need to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just gotta ask yourself, like, why am I making my life harder than it needs to be?
Yeah.
Because we be knowing, man. Like, if you go around 10 people asking them for advice on something, you already know the answer. You just resisting it.
Nah, that's facts. I think that's one of my even with the writing stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I resisted it. I think that's one of my
That's just you being human, bro.
yeah.
You was about to call it a flaw, I know. But
One of my challenges. I was gonna say challenges.
oh, okay. That sounds better. But yeah, it's just human, man. Like me, I be knowing what I need to do. I just don't feel like doing it. But I do it. But I take my time. But
Sure.
yeah, everybody got their own way. You just gotta make it work for you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. Seems like we ran through the article. For real.
How much
We ain't
time
hit the
we been?
conclusion. How much time we been here for? About 38 minutes, bro.
Okay. Let me just make sure I ain't nothing I wanted to talk about that I forgot about.
You said there was something you want to talk about?
Oh yeah. This is the last joint I just wanted to talk about.
What's up?
You know, when like I mentioned, like for me, writing was a new thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that I had been working on since I was 5. I dreamed about being a writer
For sure.
of the newspaper and all
I
that
never
type of
saw it.
stuff.
That came out of nowhere.
Bruh, if you think you never saw it, bruh, 10x that for myself. But and like people had kind of categorized me as like, you know, Nate business finance. That's what he did. He's good at.
For sure.
You know, did the whole consultant thing. You know,
Yeah.
got the, you know, big time job, all that type of stuff.
Big foe.
Yeah.
Foe
So
times.
when someone like me switches to a career like in the creative space, like a writing, it's just like, bro, what are you doing? And you're not you're not as financially secure as you used to be, bro. You
So you
tripping.
tripping, yeah.
You know, so there's just be prepared for that type of resistance. Like people going like I wrote in the article that, you know, people look at me and I could just tell, like they're like, man, like they think I'm not as like happy with life because I'm not where I was financially.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm just like, man, if you only knew, like I'm in a way better space
Yeah.
than I was before when I had more bread.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, I'm not saying it's pretty, like not being where I want to be financially, but you know, just like from like for BYLU, right? It's five. We have 5 categories. Like financially is only one.
Okay. That's
You know,
20%.
it's 20%, bro. So like now I've been focusing on the 80%, other 80%. I mean, and that I'm gonna get that 20% back. You know,
For sure.
so that was one of the last things I kind of want to talk about.
That's true. And even the podcast I was listening to when you had pulled up to the studio, dude said that he was talking about like it was a VC, and he was saying that the crazy thing about becoming wealthy and rich is that once you finally get it, if you haven't done none of the work on yourself internally, you'll realize that's not what you were missing all along. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a lot of truth to that because, like we said, money solves all your money problems.
Yep.
But once you take out your
problems,
once you take out your money problems, you have all the other problems you got to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Because yes, you got wealthy, but your kids still don't respect you. You feel me? Your wife doesn't love you,
and
you don't got peace in your life. You know, you can't buy those things.
And I think the hardest thing is like sometimes when you get the money, it's harder to fix those other problems.
You think so? Why is that?
Because
That's an interesting take.
sometimes like because you've chased it for so long, you just think it can solve everything. So it may take you a lot longer to figure out like, damn,
I can't throw money at that.
yeah, you feel me?
Feel you? That makes sense.
But when you ain't got no money, you like, man, I gotta fix this.
Can I fix this on a budget? You be tripping.
Right.
But yeah, I agree though. I agree. Sheesh, we only been here for 42 minutes and it seemed like we at the end, cuz.
Yeah, nah, it's cool.
Yeah, for real, man. This was pretty good. You short podcast I could get with this. But yeah, man. Very interesting times, man. I hope everybody listening is very healthy. You know, I hope no one's taking any mean losses due to this unapologetic virus. This thing don't discriminate in no way or form, cuz that's what blows me about the whole thing. It's like, yo, take a 6-month-old baby and a 90-year-old grandma. You don't care. Anybody could go down. A 25-year-old who's super healthy and goes to Soul Cycle every weekend. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. But yeah, man, we gonna get through all this though. We gonna be straight. I ain't really on that whole like we're all in this together as a world. I ain't really on that vibe. I don't know about you.
I mean, at least for me, I'm just taking it day by day.
Yeah, same here.
Taking my necessary precautions, but, you know, still living my life the best way I can.
Yeah, I'm just staying safe because, I don't really be going outside like that.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I take, like, because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's serious. Like, I don't think we should be playing with it like it's a joke, but still in that sense, you still got to do what you got to do. That doesn't give you the excuse to not do what you're supposed to be doing.
For sure. On G's. I agree with that. But yeah, man, this was a good episode. Talent versus gift. I wish everybody, a lot of self reflection over this time period, self-actualization. It ain't going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly as hell. I'll be the first one to tell you. That shit is not, it ain't sweet. You think you looking busted now, it's going to be way worse. It's like you ain't get a shape up in like 3 months.
Facts.
All right, maybe like 6. But the way it manifests into other parts of your life, I think is worth it. That's all I got. What you got?
Hey, man. I just, like you mentioned, I just wish everybody health. Everybody stay safe during this time, and just use this opportunity, because it is an opportunity. Despite
For sure.
all the chaos that's going on, it's an opportunity to get whatever you need to get done, and you probably know what you need to get done. So just do it. Just do it. That's all I got.
And on that note, we like to end with a lot of you saying love for y'all for listening. You stayed down and stayed through the whole thing. We hope you found value. And, hit us up or something. Just stay connected.
For sure.
Maybe we might have another 3-month hiatus coming up, Who knows? But yeah, till next time, BYLU Campaign, we out.